Hey guys, this is Tiff, aka the Tiffinator, and I'm bringing you another team deathmatch game today. So, if you've listened to some of my other commentaries, you probably know that I'm trying out a couple different guns, switching it up a bit, trying to see if I can get some cool gameplay. And today's gun of choice is the M14 assault rifle. Now, this isn't the best gameplay ever, but it is the best gameplay with this particular gun. So, hopefully you like it. I do have to warn you though, I do get a little frustrated at the end because I really think I could have done a lot better. And maybe I'm just being a sourpuss. Maybe I'm just cranky because I've been sick all week and I feel kind of crappy. But I die like 4 times right in a row. And obviously, this is a first person shooter. I know I'm gonna die, once in a while. But I felt kind of frustrated because 2 of those deaths were by dogs. And don't get me wrong, I love that kill streak. Okay, maybe not so much when I don't have it and I die from it. But the thing that frustrated me is the person who got it from a care package. So I don't know, I kind of felt like he didn't really earn it. But that's just my opinion, and yeah, just sour grapes, I guess. So I don't want to go on like a total bitch fest because that wouldn't be very fun to listen to. And so hopefully I can make it up to you with some funny stories. So, from, my other commentaries, that I got my driver's license when I was, I believe, a sophomore in high school. And so I drove throughout high school, but I always had to borrow my parents' car, or my grandparents lived with us at the time. So I had to borrow, my grandpa's car. And I never really had a car all to myself. That was all my own. I always had to, share the car with my family or my brother. And I didn't get my first car until I was in college. And all my friends in college either, lived in state, so they would just drive their car over, or they lived like close enough that they could just pack up their car and, move into the dorm or move into the apartments or whatever. And coming from Hawaii, I didn't have that luxury. I maybe got 1 suitcase and a carry-on, and that was all the stuff I could bring for the whole year. But I saved up all my money. All through college, I worked as a math tutor, and so I didn't make a ton of money, but I made enough, to buy some food, buy some ramen for dinner, and I saved up enough to buy a super cheap car. It wasn't anything, you know, fantastic. I saved up $1,000. But to me at the time, that was like a lot of money, and it was money that I had totally earned and saved up, and I was gonna buy me a car. And I really did need a car. I didn't buy it till senior year, but I needed it because I had landed an off-campus paid internship. So I had a part-time job off campus, and I needed a car to get to my job. So I went to Auto Row, not the reputable one, the one that had cars for like under $1,000. And it took me a while. I went and test drove and looked at a bunch of different cars. And it was between 2 cars, my final decision. One was the exact same car that my grandpa owned, but it was stick shift. And I didn't know how to drive a stick shift. So I probably shouldn't buy that car, right? And then the other car was like, I was like amazed that I could get this car for under $1,000. It had power windows, power doors. It had a digital speedometer, and I was like, wow, this car is pretty high tech. And the air conditioner worked. I think the radio worked too. And I was like, score! I am totally gonna get this car. So I was like super excited. And I bought my first car. Well, I drove this car for a couple of months. And I kept noticing, every time I was braking or slowing down and turning the corner, I would hear these squeaking noises. And so I thought, oh, I probably need new brake pads. And I don't really know a lot about cars. So I was thinking, oh, great. I'm going to have to take it to the mechanic because I have no idea what's going on. And best case scenario, maybe he says, your brake pads are dusty. That's not a big deal. You don't have to worry about it. Worst case scenario, I'll have to put in new brake pads or, whatever, brake. I'll have to do something with the brakes. And I was like, great, because I didn't really have a lot of money to be pouring into this car. So I take it to the mechanic. I leave it overnight. I call him the next day. And I'm like, okay, tell me the bad news. What's going on? And he says, Tiff, do you realize that only 3 of your wheels work? And I was like, what? I don't understand. What does that even mean? And he's like, well, 3 of your wheels turn and 1 doesn't. I was like, how is that even possible? Like, I didn't even know that could happen. I'm still flabbergasted. I'm like, I don't even understand what's going on. So I guess he's like, okay, first off, you probably shouldn't drive it in this condition because it's kind of scary. Basically, 3 of your wheels are turning and 1 tire is just being drug along. So one of my tires was being totally worn down because the wheel wasn't spinning. And so, yeah, it was really dangerous for me to drive it because that tire could have like blown out or whatever. And so I still don't really know what's going on. But I think the noise I was hearing is like the wheel was crunching or trying to turn and it wasn't turning, and so that was the noise I was hearing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that was even possible. So that was my first experience with a car. And hopefully if you are in the market for a new vehicle, you learn from my mistake and either take your car to a mechanic before you buy it or go to a reputable dealer, because I didn't. I went to the dealer that had cars for under $1,000. So coming up, you will see that I pretty much go on a dying spree. And I got so frustrated when I was putting this footage together that I even have a clip that shows, proving that the person whose dogs killed me got his kill streak from a care package. And what even is more frustrating is the dog kills me from behind. Come on, people. So I get killed twice by these dogs, and that's just sad. So another crazy story, and you'll probably be like, facepalm, oh my gosh, Tiff, how did you not know this? But come on, I'm from Hawaii, cut me some slack. I didn't even know what the big deal with cruise control was because I had never even used cruise control when I lived. I mean, come on, I live on an island, and so I never used it till I came to the mainland. But one funny story is I had to pick up some friends to take a test one Saturday morning, and it was in October, and it was super early in the morning. I totally woke up late, and I was the person that was supposed to drive everybody. Well, normally I had just driven my car in the fall, and so I didn't have foggy windows or icy windows. And I was driving with my head out the window because I couldn't see out the front. And I was like, how do you guys drive in this weather? And my friend had to show me how to use the defrost button. I mean, how sad is that, right? I had no idea there was even such a thing. Well, okay, coming up, you'll see. I get 33 and 4. We actually pull through and end up winning. But you'll see that total um lucky SOB. Yep, I think that's what it is. This is the Tiffinator. Come play with me.